we have with us Professor Ota, और जो हमारा जो है वो स्वागत करने का जो परंपरा है स्वदेशी, as usual.
Thank you.
And again, memorial that we have.
So, thank you so much.
And tradition, 100 years old coin, still 1919, 106 years old coin.
How many such coins you have kept?
आप आते रहो ना, आपको क्या प्रॉब्लम?
Are you manufacturing this?
No, Professor Ota, I don't know why I should call Professor Ota. Actually, he is IAS, he is professor, he is advisor to the government. Sitakanta Mahapatra was anthropologist.
Sitakanta Mahapatra was not anthropologist, but he has done lot of work, anthropological work. And his daughter was an anthropology professor and a student of mine.
Wow.
She retired.
So, another one, you know about Professor K.S. Singh, an administrator anthropologist. He was administrator and got into anthropology. वो मोरे लास्ट का स्टेटमेंट, anthropology has become too vast to be left to anthropologists alone. प्रोफेसर होता जो है उड़ीसा में somewhat satisfactory जॉब अगर इंडिया में ट्राइबल डेवलपमेंट का अगर है तो वो थोड़ा उड़ीसा में है. एंड ओटासर का जो है वो एक मेजर कंट्रीब्यूशन है SC/ST/RT के जो है
ट्राइबल रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट. ट्राइबल रिसर्च इंस्टीट्यूट
SC/ST/RT तो पता है उनको कौन बड़ा हुआ है. तो बहुत काम किया है वहाँ पे. एंड ही इज एडवाइजर टू द गवर्नमेंट ऑल्सो. एडवाइजर का काम जो है एक्चुअली एडवाइज करना नहीं होता, डांटना होता है. पर पॉलिटिशियंस इतने थिक स्किन होते हैं कि वो मानते नहीं है. आई रादर कंपेल्ड हिम टू कम टू दिस प्लेस. ही हैज कम फ्रॉम अयोध्या. राम जी के दर्शन करके आए, तो हमने कहा जिन्होंने राम जी के दर्शन किए हैं उनके दर्शन हम कर लें, तो हमारा भी विजिट हो गया प्रॉपर्टी में. एंड ऑन द डॉट बात करते हैं वो. 5 मिनट भी अगर आपको बताएंगे तो दैट विल बी ऑफ वर्क. तो आज जो आपकी जो ये जो हम लोगों के जो इंटरेक्शन है, इट विल बी वर्क. यू कैन कीप आस्किंग हिम एन नंबर ऑफ थिंग्स विद रिस्पेक्ट टू ट्राइब, बट फर्स्टली ही विल इंटरेक्ट विद यू इन टर्म्स ऑफ क्लैरिफिकेशन ऑफ सर्टेन इश्यूज इन ट्राइबल इंडिया. ठीक है? तो वी वेलकम ऑन योर बिहाफ सर.
I don't know how long this is meant, and are you taking recording simultaneously so that there will be no separate podcast? Yeah, because I will be coming again in the first week of September.
Wow.
So that time I'll stay for 2 days. That time also I can take.
पिछली बार भी आपने यही कहा था.
Yeah.
पिछली बार भी आपने कहा था I'll have plenty of time next time. That next time never comes.
Thank you, Dr. Vaid. You see, he is a great friend of mine. I have not come here to take a class or to interact with you. I have come basically to see him, because in the entire country, if I trust that somebody speaks the truth and nothing but the truth, even if it is very naked, it is Dr. Vaid. So I have learnt a lot from him. We have been interacting, and he also criticizes. I bring out article in newspaper, in social media quite frequently. I have little more than 60 books, all on anthropology, all on tribals. And he is the person, if you post, an article, or if you post your book, or if he comes across of your book, he will find out where the soup inches. These days, if you talk to people, I appreciate you and you appreciate me. So this is the this is the pattern. I think Dr. Vaid is a person who is with a difference. So, sir, I, as a friend and as the conscience keeper of these aspirants who are enrolled with you, and are either virtually connected or physically connected, I extend my gratitude to you for giving me this opportunity. I remember last time Dr. Vaid had called me. I spoke just before the examination, I believe. I spoke about the PVTGs, particularly vulnerable tribal groups. And I remember just at that point in time, the PM Janman had come. All of you know about PM Janman. And I will tell you that PM Janman has a genesis from Odisha. Much before PM Janman was introduced by government as a flagship program, in Niti Aayog, a core committee was constituted, and I was the person who made the presentation, the Odisha's experience and good practices and how it can be replicated for the entire country. Because we had taken 542 villages of PVTG and we had got a loan from International Fund for Agriculture Development, IFAD. And I won't say that, it is a 100% successful project, but then we could do a lot of good things for the PVTGs in 542 villages on a saturation mode. So government liked the idea, Niti Aayog liked the idea, and they came up with 11 interventions under PM PVTG mission. An intention that it will be on a saturation mode and on a collaborative approach. How far things are getting done at the field are two different things. But then all the provisions that I'll be speaking to you today in bits and pieces are all with good intentions. But you must remember that there's a huge gap between policy and practice. Unless policy and practice, the gap gets reduced, the policies will only become paper tigers and tribals won't get the benefit that we expect. Friends, what I have decided today, I have not prepared anything structured. Late last night, I thought that I'll speak to you. I don't know how much of it I can speak, time being the constraint. I have decided that, like last time I told about the PVTG mission or PM Janman to your friends who are probably appearing now. I'll be speaking to you. I'll devote 5 minutes on 12 concepts or 12 areas, which will give you food for thought, and you can build on that for your preparations, all pertaining to important issues, and each one of those you can expect that it can come in the examination. You see, what I have thought of is, you have covered. Friends, I'll be talking to you on 12 issues I have planned. You must be knowing scheduled states, isn't it? Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states. I'm sure you might not be knowing how many Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states are there. What are the special dispensation for them? I'll just speak to you on that. And Tribes Advisory Council, some 10, 12 years back, not 10, 12, 20 years back, when Professor L.K. Mahapatra was doing the question, I was his disciple, and together we had done the question. I remember, the bit kind of a question which is put in the examination. I had put Tribes Advisory Council. Tribes Advisory Council is something which is very important. What is that? I'll tell you in brief. You see, role of governor in Schedule 5 and 5 area is extremely important. What is the role of governor in Schedule 5 area? You need to know. You might have come across some books, but I'll tell you in brief what it is. I know many of you might not be from anthropology background, but you might have opted for anthropology as a subject. 75% out of 100%, I can tell you, belong to 90% belong to that category. So you try to understand that much which you are going to reproduce. Then, there is something called tribal cell. From 2010 onwards, the President of India, Minister of Tribal Affairs, they have been insisting on the states, Schedule 5 states, that you go in for a tribal cell in the Governor's Secretariat, which will handhold and support the Governor in preparing the administration of scheduled area report, which is a mandatory thing every year, and they are also expected to support him so that he knows what is happening at the ground level where the shoe pinches, so that Governor being the supreme so far as scheduled area is concerned can probably advise or instruct government to deal with those critical areas of concern. So what is that tribal cell? I'll tell you. And friends, you must have known about the tribal subplan. I'm sure Dr. Vaid must not have left this portion to you at all. So what is a tribal subplan? What is tribal subplan approach? And what is tribal subplan budget? This is very, very important. But so many things saying in 5 minutes each may not be enough. I'll just give you a beginning, and once I go back, it may not be possible all the time, even if I'm coming to Delhi to come and talk to you. I would request, Vaid to get me connected with you people virtually, and I'm prepared to devote some time for you. And Forest Rights Act, you must be knowing this, legislation of 2006, what it promises and what are the kinds of rights, I'll tell you in brief, and how we have failed or how we have succeeded, and to what extent we have progressed, that also I'll tell you. And PM Janman must be known to all of you. You have all opted for anthropology? Yeah? You people have opted? Okay. So I'll speak to you about PM Janman, its advantages and disadvantages. Da Juga is also a flagship scheme of Ministry of Tribal Affairs, which was launched in 2024. Okay. It is going to last till 2029. What it promises. I remember something, Amitabh Bachchan had said in a film that promises are made to be broken, my dear. I don't know the film, but then, that was a dialogue. So what promises are made by government is broken up often, but then these are the promises that I'm going to tell you. And something new has come up for past 3 to 4 months. Adi Karma Yogi. What is Adi Karma Yogi is an expected, bit that may also come in your examination. You should know. But it is an evolving kind of a thing, so nothing much can be told about it. And these days, Ministry of Tribal Affairs is trying to revamp the Tribal Research Institute in the country. During our time, when I became a director of the oldest TRI of the country, way back in 2006, there were only 12 TRIs. Only 4 of them were functional. Even TRI Odisha was also under subjugation of Andhra TRI. Today, you find 29 TRIs. And TRI is becoming a buzzword even in the mouth of Honorable Prime Minister. So you can expect something on TRIs. What TRI is all about. You are all non-anthropology persons. You have ventured taking anthropology, so you must know what is Tribal Research Institute. 2 more things which are very important, I'll try to tell you. In the Constitution, there is provision of inclusion into the scheduled tribe list made by the President, and there is also provision of exclusion of tribal communities from the scheduled list. So what is the status? What is happening? How it is happening? How correct it is? Whether the communities who are enlisted satisfies the local committee's 5 criteria today. So that also you must know. Last thing I'll try to tell you, there are number of schemes today, housing schemes for the tribals. Is housing scheme for ST communities impacting the culture of tribal communities? If it is impacting the culture of tribal communities, what is that and how it needs to be addressed? So these are the 12 things I have ventured to talk to you. You see, if you come to, Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states, what it is, why Schedule 5 and Schedule 6? Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 in the Constitution, it has identified some states as Schedule 5, which is in the mainland of the country, and some, others under Schedule 6. And these, scheduled states, they are extended special provisions, to address the issues of tribal communities on a priority basis. If you see Schedule, 5 states, these are the Schedule 10 5 states. Andhra Pradesh, Telangana, Chhattisgarh, Gujarat, Himachal Pradesh, Jharkhand, Madhya Pradesh, Maharashtra, Odisha and Rajasthan. What special provisions are there for these 10 Schedule 5 states? We'll come to that. But before that, let me tell you, Schedule 6 for tribal areas in Northeast India pertains to 4: Assam, Meghalaya, Tripura and Mizoram. So what is the objective and scope of Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 and what are the provisions? The main objective, you see, is protect tribal land, culture and customs, prevent tribal exploitation and preserve autonomy, ensure self-governance in tribal areas, enable inclusive development without cultural disruption. What is the scope? Scope, if you look at the area, it covers administration and governance of tribal areas, provides legal safeguards for socio-economic development, and allows special institutions like tribal advisory councils and autonomous district councils in Schedule 6 states. So I will tell you separately what special provisions under Schedule 5 exist and what special provisions under Schedule 6 exist. The special dispensation under Schedule 5 is, I have just put down 5 important dispensations. Governor's powers to declare scheduled areas and make regulations. You might be thinking that government will make regulations, policies, strategies, but under this constitutional provision, governor has the capacity to enact any kind of rules, provisions, even acts for the tribal people's benefit. If some act is there which is detrimental for the tribal communities, that can also be withheld. That is the power of governor under Schedule 5. Then Tribal Advisory Council in each state to advise on tribal welfare. You see, there is a Tribal Advisory Council which is chaired by Chief Minister of a state. I'll tell you about Tribal Advisory Council, how it is constituted and what it does. But let me tell you, governor can instruct the Chief Minister or the Tribal Advisory Council to look into specific matters to address the issues of tribals. And as a matter of fact, when I will explain, I will show you the Tribal Advisory Council is expected to sit twice in a year. What is happening in the ground level, I am not going to tell you dirty things, because you at your level must know, what the provisions are. You see, no development activities, no new schemes, programs can be introduced by government or can be launched by government without prior approval of Tribes Advisory Council. There are, aberrations at many places that without taking, approval of Tribes Advisory Council, new schemes, new programs are getting extended, launched for the tribal people in settled areas. But that is unconstitutional. And restriction on transfer of tribal land to non-tribal. You see, there is a regulation which is imposed by almost all the tribal states that tribal land cannot be purchased by the non-tribals. In Odisha, I am telling you, there is a regulation called Regulation 2 of 1956. Like that, that is done by governor, which has got approval of the President of India. So in each state, you have some kind of regulation to see that in scheduled area, tribal land is not, sold to any non-tribal people. It is again, under this scheduled area provision, and governor has the final say. Governor can override state laws in scheduled areas for tribal welfare. I told you. If there is a state law and governor gets convinced after going to the field or, after learning from his council of experts, that particular law is not good for the tribals, it is detrimental, he can override that. And no state government can stop him. It is mandatory and constitutionally he has been empowered. And no Panchayati Raj unless modified under PESA Act. You know PESA? By this time you must have been told about Panchayat extension to scheduled area, in which, I have seen Dr. Vaid has done a document, probably audio video documentation you have done. So these are the, in brief, there are so many, but I'm just giving you indication. So special provisions for Schedule 6. In Schedule 6 area, autonomous district councils are there. Okay. This is formed in tribal areas of Assam, as I have told you, Meghalaya, Mizoram and Tripura. Councils have legislative, judicial and executive powers in what? Land and forest management, customary laws and local traditions, village administration, education, health and agriculture. These are the 5 things which is included. And what are the special dispensations? Councils can make laws in more than 40 subjects. It is identified. Please Google search and find out. And it can establish court for certain tribal cases. It has got, judiciary power in certain matters. Which matters you find out. Third, special dispensation is it requires governor's assent for laws made by, ADCs. The autonomous district councils cannot override governor. Whatever they do, like state governments in scheduled, 5 states, they will formulate certain, laws, but, it has to come to governor for his assent. Without governor's assent, government cannot do it, even in these 4 states. And, it protects cultural identity and promotes self-rule. These are the provisions and these are the special dispensations. If you look and open the pages of what? Pages of the Constitution. So, second thing I'll tell you. So, this is in brief, I told you about the Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states. But if you really look at Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states, Schedule 5, the power of governor is much more than Schedule 6. Because in Schedule 6, you find autonomous district councils. They have some autonomy on which the governor also doesn't have much say. But so far as Schedule 5, states are concerned, one governor, asked me 15 years back, I was telling, Dr. Vaid today, because he wanted to declare some communities as scheduled tribe. I remember 169 proposals were given by Odisha state to Ministry of Tribal Affairs. And all the time those people were going and complaining to the governor. So governor one day asked me as an expert, he said that what is my power? I said, sir, the secretary told me that this is the purpose for which governor has called you. So please be a little careful while dealing with him. Otherwise, I will be in trouble. The state government will bully me. So he told me, do I have got enough power to exercise in Schedule 5 areas? I said, sir, governor's power is insurmountable. He can do anything in Schedule 5 areas. So the next question, which was already, tutored by the principal secretary to governor, was asked by governor. So governor said, then, there are so many communities who are claiming to be included in the scheduled tribe list. Can I declare them as scheduled tribe? I said, yes, you can. In fact, he can. But he can do it only for a limited period of 6 months. He said, then let me do it. I said, yes, sir, you can do it. But if you do it, there could be a backlash. And that backlash may be bloodshed. If the President of India rejects any one of the case or all the cases that you do, then there will be bloodshed in the community and it will open floodgate. Even if it is your power, you have to use it very judiciously. Then he asked me, then what should I do? I told him, as I had discussed with the principal secretary, I said, sir, you are honorable governor. You write to Prime Minister and President of India a letter that, why these communities should be included with rationale, take help of the TRI. So he has to take help of me. He said that you draft a letter for me and I will give it to. I said, sir, if you write, it will be given more importance. So don't do it like that, lest there may be a backlash. So he trusted me. But let me tell you, the governor has insurmountable power, but he has to act judiciously. Otherwise, there may be backlash. So what is the role of governor in Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states? I'm just, coming as a sequel to that. We'll try to find out. Why is the governor important in scheduled areas? The governor acts as a constitutional link between the president and the state government and tribal community. You see, governor, often people think that governor only sits in the Raj Bhavan and he never goes to the field. In fact, that is so in most of the cases. But governor should go to the field to understand how the tribals are facing problem. He should have eyes and ears in the shape of his own, advisors who should tell them what is happening where, and on the basis of which he can literally create a link between tribal communities, state government, and president. And if governor recommends something to the president, it won't be taken lightly. It is taken very seriously. And it holds special power in tribal governance to protect tribal interests. And it acts as a watchdog for tribal welfare and autonomy. What is the role of governor in Schedule 5 areas? Special powers under Schedule 5. he can declare any area as a scheduled area or alter boundaries with presidential effect. You know what is scheduled area? So if Delhi, township area, can it be declared as a scheduled area? What is the basis? Don't tell me. Don't talk like a bureaucrat before becoming a bureaucrat. Anybody who can tell, can you unmute them?
Yeah, unmute only.
Huh? Can anybody say how a scheduled area is determined? Any one of you? You can raise hands so that you know the.
Sir, President can do that.
Yeah, tell me, Sweta.
Sir, President can schedule any area as scheduled area.
As as per her sweet will, or there is anything let down. Okay, we'll come to that. Yes.
Yes.
Look, I am telling you in respect of Odisha, because I was Director Tribal Welfare, I was Director Tribal Research Institute for 17 years, and I have also acted as collector and all that, so I know the subject matter, and from anthropology background, I have a good idea. We have 314 blocks in the state of Odisha. Understand? Do you think all 314 blocks can be declared as scheduled area? No. 340 out of 314 blocks. We have 122 blocks. Each block having more than 50% tribal population becomes eligible to be declared as a tribal development block or a scheduled block. So the cluster, at times, a block may not have more than 50% tribal population. Yet, the portion of the cluster can be declared as a scheduled area. How? If there are two contiguous districts and, one from this side and one from the other side, contiguous. If that can be, clubbed and the population becomes more than 50% in that cluster as, that cluster can also be declared as scheduled area. The blocks may not be scheduled blocks, but if you put it together, it may be a scheduled area. That has happened, in Odisha, and also it has happened in other areas, whatever it is. So that is, the scheduled area concept you must know. Where am I? You see, it has said alter boundaries. There was historically a mistake in Odisha done by a chief minister in 1960s, an area which had only 17% tribal population, because the chief minister belonged to that particular locality, had, and in patches tribals were staying, but it was 17% in that cluster, but it was declared as a scheduled area, was altered, altered by the President of India. The governor. And post facto approval was taken from President. So that is the kind of, power the governor enjoys. Only thing, governor very rarely discharges that kind of, power which he has. Then special dispensations, I have already said, I'll not go. Why is the governor important in scheduled areas? So I have already said this probably. He also has the power to make regulations for restricting or prohibiting land transfer among tribals, regulating money lending to tribes, and promoting tribal welfare. What is the lawmaking power the governor has got? As I have said, can override laws made by parliament or state assemblies if they harm tribal, then governor and tribal advisory council. The tribal advisory council is also within the ambit of the governor. If he wants, he can also give proposal in the agenda of the Tribes Advisory Council, or can call for a special, meeting of Tribes Advisory Council to see that certain, important decisions are taken. judicial and administrative oversight is also there. And you must remember what is the key difference in governor's role between Schedule 5 and Schedule 6. Because of paucity of time, I am not going deep into that. In case of Schedule 5, governor has stronger, more direct control, can frame regulations and suspend state laws in scheduled areas, plays central role in ensuring tribal rights and welfare. But in Schedule 6 area, the role is of a supervisory authority. It is not as strong as you find in Schedule 5 areas. So government focuses on ensuring autonomous councils function properly. Again, in advisory capacity. Here, authority is there, full authority. And governor acts more like a mediator and constitutional overseer. This you must remember.
Sir,
Yes.
sir, why is the role not very prominent in the Schedule 6 areas?
Schedule 6 area you find autonomous, councils. The constitution is such. Why constitution has been done so? I cannot explain you. But then I am saying, Schedule 6 areas and northeast areas, the autonomous development councils are there. The very word autonomous, councils have the autonomy over certain things. That is what constitution says. And governor is only a conscience keeper. He can only advise. He can only act as, a monitor kind of a thing. That is what our constitution has been done like that, Why it has been done is very difficult to say. But then I can only tell you, between Schedule 5 and Schedule 6 states, Schedule 5, it is, the power is really, quite solid. But so far as 6 is concerned, it is advisory. Yeah.
Powers of the governor, are those discretionary, sir? In Schedule 5, legislative powers. Like you said that governor can make any law regarding the scheduled in
Yes.
that state.
Yes.
So, okay, it is discretionary, sir.
Discretion is there. They need not have to take concurrence of government. Here in Schedule 6, the governor has to request the government or the council. What is that council?
PSC.
No, that the autonomous development councils may be advised by governor in Schedule 6 area that you may do this, you should do that. Government is at liberty to accept or not accept. But so far as Schedule 5 area is concerned, not discretionary. The governor can do it without the approval of the state government. He can pass orders. Okay.